name is Denise Yezbak Moore, and today I'm going to be showing you how to create my daisy chain earrings. This is the front of the earring, this is the back of the earring. You can see the wires a tad bit more on the back. The tools and supplies you will need to create these earrings are round nose pliers, wire cutters, chain nose pliers. I use Lentil. You will also need a 10mm round bead. This bead is a freshwater pearl. You will need it to be as round as possible if you use a pearl. This is a little 8mm lentil freshwater pearl. I am using 4mm faceted agates in 2 different colors for the smaller daisy. The beads around the larger daisy are 6mm faceted stones. You will need an ear wire and 26 gauge wire. We're going to start at the bottom by making the larger daisy first. I just cut a 7-inch length of 26 gauge wire and I strung 8 6mm stone beads onto the wire. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to cross the wires and I'm going to bend it at the bottom to form a circle. And now, do you see how I'm bending that wire down and I'm bringing that wire up, and I'm going to come around. I got to hold those beads nice and tight, and I just kind of wrapped it around one time. So now I'm going to come in and I want this wire to bend down. Now we're going to grab our 10mm round bead and we're going to string that into the center, and we're bending that wire. And I want to go back through those 2 bottom center beads right about there. And I'm going to grab my chain nose pliers and I pulled that nice and tight. We're going to do one more wrap to secure the bead. So I just passed it through, grab my chain nose pliers, pull that nice and tight, trim off that little end, and then the best you can, tap that wire down. This is the back, this is the front. Now we're going to form a wrapped loop on the top. So I'm going right about there with my round nose pliers and bend the wire back, move the pliers up, bend the wire towards you, move the pliers to the side, bend the wire back. And since my wire is so long, I can wrap it with my fingers. And we're going to wrap 1, 2, 3, and I think we can just fit a 4th. We're going to remove it, trim that little wire. We're going to straighten out our loop and tap that little wire down. We are now going to create the daisy connector. I just strung 6 4mm faceted agates to the center, and we're going to do the same thing as we did the first time. We're forming a circle, kind of tap it there, and I'm bending that wire down and moving this wire up, then coming around the back side. And I just want to wrap it one time. Now I'm going to come back in and bend that wire down. We're going to grab our 4mm agate bead, and we're going to string that to the center. And the same thing, we are going to place that wire in between the bottom two center wires, and we are going to pull it nice and tight. Now we're going to form a partial wrapped loop at the bottom. We're going to bend the wire back, move the pliers up, bend the wire towards you, move the pliers to the side, bend the wire back, and then we are going to connect. Make sure both front sides are connected. I'm going to place my round nose pliers right there, and I'm going to flip it, and then we are going to wrap 1, 2, 3, and we're going to remove it, come back over, trying to make sure I only get this wire, trim off that little end, and we're going to straighten out our loop and tap that wire down so there are no sharp edges. Now we need to make another wrapped loop at the top, so we're going to bend the wire back, move the pliers up, bend the wire towards you, move the pliers to the side, bend the wire back, and we are going to wrap 1, 2, 3, and maybe just a little more. We're going to remove it, trim off that little wire. Coming back in, we're going to flatten out our loop and tap that wire down. So there are no sharp edges. Now we're going to make this little pearl connector right here. I just cut about a 3.5 inch length of 26 gauge wire. And we are going to form a partial loop to connect right there. So we're going to bend the wire back, move the pliers up, bend the wire towards you, move the pliers to the side, bend the wire back, and then we're going to take it off. And we are going to connect it. Place our round nose pliers right there. Switch hands, and we are going to wrap 1, 2, 3, remove it, and we are going to trim off that little end, come back in, tap that little wire down, and the best as you can, flatten your loop. And we're going to grab our little pearl lentil, and we're going to string that down. The loop is facing this way, but to hang our ear wire, we need the loop facing the other way. So let's grab our round nose pliers. We need it facing the opposite way. If it doesn't come out that way, we can always fix it. So we are going to bend the wire back, move the pliers up, bend the wire towards you, move the pliers to the side, bend the wire back, and then we are going to wrap 1, 2, 3. We're going to remove it. Trim off that little end. I need to check and see if they are facing the right way. So I'm just going to take it and turn it. So this is how you twist a loop. Both of them are facing the same way, and we're just going to twist that top one, and then I'm going to tap that little wire down. Our last step is to attach the ear wire. This is how you open and close an ear wire. You never pull it apart. So we're just going to come over, attach, and close the ear wire. And there you have it, how to create my daisy chain earrings. I would appreciate it if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please leave a comment with questions. I love to correspond with beaders worldwide. And if you get a chance, be sure to check out my other YouTube videos. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.